Your diversity and inclusion training is not enough. Let me explain why. If you're focused more on your policy and not your practice, you could be risking your company millions of dollars. Hi, I'm Caleb, and welcome to MP BizFeed. I'm just going to be upfront. It's kind of a weird choice that I'm the one who's talking about diversity and inclusion. Unfortunately, we're still in the middle of a pandemic, and we really think this is an important topic to talk about. One of the reasons this is so important to talk about right now is that it affects businesses on all different levels. From interpersonal relationships to your entire company image, ignoring inclusion can be a disaster. I'm going to walk you through what could happen, all the way from immediate effects to your employees to 3 really big costs for your company. If your diversity, equity, and inclusion initiative is not a fabric woven into your organizational strategy, you have the possibility of doing more harm than good. These strategies need to be supported and demonstrated by upper leadership in visible ways. With programs that lack significant follow-through, it's easy for your workforce to be disillusioned by the difference between what you practice and what you preach. If it turns out that you have a workplace that isn't celebrating differences, such as ethnic, cultural, or abilities, workplace interactions involving microaggressions and unconscious bias can easily seep into your own company culture. An employee who has fallen victim to these types of interactions is going to be less responsive and open in the workplace. Nobody wants to participate in a work environment where they have to think twice about engaging in conversation with other people. This type of environment makes it hard to focus on tasks, and you're going to start to see employees be disengaged with their work. Ultimately, ignoring your company's diversity, equity, and inclusion trainings is going to hurt your company culture. It's going to be harder for coworkers to develop personal relationships that are rich and have really deep trust. Employees won't want to grab lunch together, team building exercises will fall flat, and even company policies with good intentions can have unintended consequences. As such, communication across the organization can become stilted and unproductive. A more intangible aspect that you start to lose is the different perspectives that you miss out on when people aren't comfortable voicing their own opinion. One of the greatest strengths a company can have is a workforce that's open to creativity and innovation. This becomes impossible when a person feels like their voice isn't being heard. Problem solving is going to be more productive and compliant when you have an array of different perspectives and experiences. You may even pay the ultimate price and start losing talent to competitors who are working harder to be more inclusive. Harvard Business Review wrote back in 2017 that inclusive managers attract higher performers. If you're not paying attention to the needs of your employees, they're going to notice and they will potentially leave. In the long run though, the 3 big costs that I'm talking about are some major challenges that are going to affect your company image. The first one has to do with how your workforce potentially treats clients and customers. If your workforce is unaware of their own microaggressions and biases towards others, conscious or unconscious, this can translate to damaging situations in the real world. For example, take the situation where a Starbucks employee racially profiled 2 black men who were waiting at their location for friends. This was traumatic for the 2 men, who had the police called on them and reinforced systemic racism. Starbucks shut down all of its US locations for an entire day in order to have company-wide training for its employees. Additionally, this could seriously affect your company image from a candidate and employee perspective. Glassdoor is a popular site for employees to review what it's like working for a company. If employees are being treated poorly, it's easy for this information to become public very quickly. On the flip side, if your company is doing a great job with its inclusion and diversity initiatives, this can be a huge asset for attracting talent. And finally, you might see all of this start to affect your company from a monetary standpoint in the form of lawsuits. Home Depot, FedEx, and dozens of other companies have been sued for millions of dollars where unconscious bias was the major contributing factor. These lawsuits can lead to very public situations and can have other negative impacts on your business as well. So what's the next step, or even the first step? One of the things that's most difficult to understand is that more often than not, you can't just make your business more inclusive overnight. There's no training that you can offer your team that will just make all bias-related issues disappear. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't try. In fact, the best time to start, if you haven't already, is right now. Tackling this issue can take time, and it's an ongoing conversation that you should be having with your employees to see what works and what doesn't. This is an area where MP can really help your business. We have free trainings available that go a lot more in depth than we were able to here. Make sure you check out the description to find a link for that series. If you need more help, our HR team is experienced in developing custom diversity and inclusion training, and is also really experienced in how to build an inclusive environment. We'll help you track what's successful in your business over time and what's having the most effect on your employees. That's all I have for you today. If you like this video, don't forget to like it, share it, follow us. We're gonna be bringing more HR and business related content to you. Drop a comment if you have questions, and don't forget you can visit us at masspacesolutions.com or just give us a call. Thanks for watching and take care.